The No Fate channel, checking in. On today's episode of Tightwad Tuesday, I'm going to be giving you dads 4 tips to save money off your electrical bill. I am dedicated to helping you dads, and on this series, I give you dads a tip every Tuesday to help you dads save money. Money that you can then spend on your family, on your mortgage, on any of the bills that just happen to show up in your mailbox. Today, I'm going to be giving you dads 4 tips to save money off your electrical bill, one of those nasty bills that just shows up every month and just seems to be going up, up, up. Tip number 1, the biggest tip I can give you dads is to not pay for electricity that you're not using. Now, this is probably extremely obvious to you dads and probably goes without saying, but you're a dad and you have kids, and if your kids are anything like mine, they are running in and out of rooms, turning the lights on and not shutting them off. So make sure that you teach your kids and make sure you yourself are not leaving electronic equipment on. That obviously goes for lights and fans and heaters and ACs, anything and everything that's electronic. If you're not using it, make sure you shut it off. Tip number 2 is to take advantage of today's electronic efficiencies. The biggest example and probably the biggest standout are light bulbs. Today's modern energy efficient light bulbs pay for themselves in under a year, and unlike the first versions of them, when you flip the switch, you don't have to wait for these light bulbs to heat up, they come right on. Also, there's tons of different colors, believe it or not, with these lights. You can get normal yellow light, you can get bright white daylight, and everything in between. If you haven't converted over to energy efficient light bulbs, you definitely need to do that. Now, other examples are basically just improvements in technology. So we're talking dishwashers, washing machines, refrigerators, televisions, DVD players, even furnaces. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and trash your current refrigerator, but I'm telling you that if one of your refrigerators or your dishwasher or one of those items is on the fritz, or if it's going bad and you need to actually purchase one of these items, make sure you're looking for one that has a low energy usage, because that's going to pay itself back year over year over year with the lower energy cost. And that's something that many people don't look for when they're purchasing their next TV. So keep that in mind, especially on your next big purchase of an electronic item. Tip number 3 is to unplug your electronics when they're not in use. Believe it or not, many of your electronics, even when they're off, are still drawing a small charge. It may seem small and it may seem fruitless, but that's a charge that's being drawn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A prime example is your cell phone charger. If you have it plugged in, even if your phone's not connected, it's still pulling juice. There's a number of other electronics that do the same thing. If they're plugged in, they're pulling juice. It's a small amount, but that small amount adds up. So I would highly recommend, if you've got electronics and they're not being used, just to simply pull the plug out of the wall. Now, you're saying that that's a pretty big inconvenience, and I don't blame you. One way to make this less of an inconvenience is to use basically an electronic surge protector strip. So you plug that one strip into the wall, then you plug as many electronic devices that you have near that strip into the strip, and then when your electronic devices aren't being used, you simply flip the switch on the strip. It saves time, and it is definitely going to save you energy. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again now. Make sure you are unplugging your unused electronic equipment. That is going to save you money. It may be a small amount of electricity that you're losing, but that money is going to add up, and it's better to have it in your pocket than in the electric company's pocket. The last tip I have for you, tip number 4, is to utilize your power saving settings. Now, many of you think of power saving settings as your computer, and that is probably the biggest one, right? Your computer, whether it's a desktop or a laptop, has power saving settings for your monitor and for the processor itself. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. But there are other electronics that have power saving settings. All right, your Blu-ray player, if you have a Sony Blu-ray player like I do, or even other manufacturers, there are actually power saving settings in those as well, believe it or not. Now, another power saving setting is your dishwasher. That's a big one. You want to avoid using the dry mode, all right, and make sure you avoid using the quick mode as well. That quick mode is another thing that is going to sap the electricity and ruin the efficiency of your dishwasher. Another idea, another example I should say, is your refrigerator. Your refrigerator has dials inside the refrigerator for both your freezer and your refrigerator. Many people don't even know those dials exist. Oftentimes, if they do know they exist, they don't even know what they're set at. Believe it or not, you could probably set those dials a lot lower than you believe and still have your refrigerator and freezer extremely cold. And by reducing those dials, you are going to save a ton of money because that refrigerator is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is probably one of your biggest energy hogs inside your house. I hope you dads found these tips informative. If you've come this far in the video, then you know what to do. Give it a like, hit that subscribe button as usual. Thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you dads be great parents to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I post tips and tricks to save you dads time, energy, and money. 3 things that are in short supply for every dad out there.